Hey kids, Mr. Glenn here, hope you're well. We are going to be creating text in Sketches Pro today, and we're going to use some of the Everyone Can Create resources. And here you can see we've got some block lettering, some styled lettering. We're going to create this in Word Art in Sketches Pro. So we're going to create some text, some outlines like this, and this is just simple block letters, and then we're going to colour them in. And then we have a choice. We can go and choose bubble letters. Again, we're going to create some guidelines, and you can create your chocolates names or your brands. And then the final will be some angled block letters. And you've got a choice of these three. So we can make an outline, make some guides, and use some colours to create your lettering. So here we are, year 4. This is my lettering as I'm halfway through. This is my Fires chocolate. Now I've just made up a name. You can use your surname, you can use any name you want. And so let's have a look to see how I've broken this down. First of all, I have my guidelines here, and you can see that they break the tops of the lowercase letters and the middle of the capital letters. I have my colour, which I have in between the actual writing itself, the outline. And the reason I have that is so that I can erase it easily and I don't destroy my lettering. So how do we do this? Well, we need to make these guidelines first. So I'm going to go and make a new one here. And the first job I'm going to do is just pinch out so you can see everything. And I'm going to make a new layer and work in this one here so you can see which ones I'm working in. They're blue. So the bottom layer here, and then I'm ready to go into my next layer. I'll go and grab a ruler. And I'm going to go and make sure that my colours, I want a black actually. So I'm going to get black here and make sure that that's out of the way. And then I'm going to get a pencil, make sure I've got a pencil on small. And I want it on about 1/4 opacity. I don't want it too dark. And I'm just going to draw a straight line like this. And then I'm going to make my top lines. Whoops. You'll find this happens a few times. You just have to get used to using the ruler, because you can tap anywhere above the ruler and it will draw the line for you. There we go. Right. So I'm going to go and turn my ruler off. Go into my other layer because I don't need to draw in this layer. This is for my guide only. So I'm going to go and get my fire lettering. I'm going to do a simple block outline, and don't forget about your undo, because that will help you if you make unwanted mistakes like that. And even that's too large, and I'm going to keep that like that. So the one thing that stops me from working is having those correct guides. So I'm going to go and make sure that these are decent. I'm going to go and use that as a guide, and you can see that that makes a much better letter. The top's a bit thin, and so I might just go and redo that. I'm not going to worry too much about lines that are not as clear as I'd like them, because you can simply just get the eraser in some parts and just draw. There we go. I'm very happy with that. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to draw the rest, and I'm going to fast forward this. Now, you'll have seen that I'm just making a new layer here, and what I'm going to do is, now that I'm happy with my lettering, I'm going to go and use my pen to just go over the top of it now in black, because this is now going to be thick. Okay, what I'm going to do now is go into my layer, and I don't need the background on anymore, and in fact I could probably go and delete my trace layer, and it'll say yes, are you sure you want to delete that? And now I've got a good set of colors now for a good set of outlines now for my colors. So I'm in this text layer. What I'm going to do is make a new layer. This is going to be my color layer. So for fires, I want something that is going to be a fire-ish color. So I'm going to go and choose this, and then I'm going to make sure that this is going to be yellow because I want to have that spread of fire. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to zoom in to each letter, and that's too thin. You can see that I'm going to go make sure that this is large, and I don't want it to be too thick now. In fact, I want my watercolors is what I want. Make sure that's okay. And you can choose any style you want, any colors you want. You can use other colors, you can use other tools, and don't worry about going over the edges now, because we're going to show you how to erase the others too. Erase the mistakes. So I'm thinking about what I'm doing and I'm saying the wrong words. So the reason I use watercolors for mine is that I can build up the colors around the edge. So what I want to do is just remember where my marker is here, and I'm going to keep that there. And then I'm going to choose my marker here on this palette. I'm going to make it a bit darker so that when I go to the edges now, the edges of my F is going to be as though it's got some curve to it. Now, you might be looking at it now and looking and thinking, well, you're going well over the lines. This is the beauty of using layers, is that you don't need to worry about what we're doing now, because as I'm starting to think this is starting to look okay, I'm going to go and just erase this, and then I'm going to show you as I clean this up. Make sure that edge is nice there. Make sure that edge is nice as well. Let's get that edge just right with the eraser. There. Now what's going to happen now is as I move my layers, okay, I can manage my layers now. I can pick this up, I can move this down, and you can see that the outline jumps in front and it gives it a nicer finish, like so. So I'm going to continue the rest of this. I'm going to fast forward it, and you can fast forward as well, and I'll leave you to see the finished article at the very end. So here we are. You can see now that I'm ready to go and just check that this is looking okay. So I'm going to go and turn it off. You can see the big difference here as I just bring those two backwards and forwards so I can see what's going on, and I'm now ready to export that, just this picture, into my other artwork. Okay, I'm going to stop there. As always, you four, good luck.